Hello. Okay, so first I'm going to be taking my Catrice Prime and Fine Pore Refining Anti-Shine Base. It's just going to help smooth out my skin and get it ready for when we put on our foundation. Next, I'm going to be taking my Real Technique sponge and my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. So I'm just going to be putting that on the back of my hand and taking it with my sponge, and then my sponge is damp, and I'm just going to be putting that all around my face, just covering up any redness that I have and creating a very flawless base for the rest of our makeup to go down on. I really love putting this foundation on with a sponge. I think that sometimes when it is done with a brush, it can be a little too drying, even though I do have oily skin in my T-zone. Just still think that this foundation goes on so flawlessly with a sponge. It just really evens everything out and makes it look very airbrushed almost, and flawless. So I really, really like that technique. So I'm just going to be finishing up, putting everything down, putting a little extra coverage where I need it, on some of my pimples and things like that. Sorry about when I have the mirror in front of you guys. This is my first tutorial, so I just wasn't exactly sure my setup that I really wanted to do yet. Next, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Better Skin foundation, or not foundation, concealer, and I'm just going to be putting that underneath my eyes and in a triangle shape just to get rid of any bags and dark circles that we have. And I'm also going to be highlighting the rest of my face with this concealer. So we're just going to be taking it on the forehead, down the center of the nose, and on the chin. That's just going to make our highlighting not so harsh if it was just underneath our eyes. So you just want to make sure you even out everywhere else on your skin with the highlighter as well, just the high points of our face. And I'm just going to be taking the Real Technique sponge and making sure that is blended very, very well into our skin and into our foundation so that we don't look crazy. Next, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. High Definition Powder, and I believe this is in sheer. And then I'm also going to be taking the e.l.f. Blush Brush, and I'm just going to be sort of petting and sweeping that over our concealer where we highlighted our face just to set everything. I really, really like this powder. It is very, very, very mattifying. So if you have dry skin, don't know for sure if you would like this powder, but I really, really love it. It doesn't make my makeup crease, doesn't look cakey, and it just looks very flawless. I know right now it kind of looked a little white, but it'll look better in the end, I promise. Next, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Mineral Bronzer, and I'm not sure exactly what shade that is. Oh, actually I do. It is Beach Bronze. And I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Complexion Brush as well and putting that in the hollows of my cheeks, just to kind of bronze up the face. I'm not necessarily contouring with this, but just warming up the face after we highlighted. So I'm putting that on the perimeters of my face and, like I said, along the cheeks. Just making sure that this is all the way blended into our skin. We don't want it to look harsh at all. Next, I'm going to be taking the Milani Extra Large Bronzer Duo, and then I'm going to be contouring with my Real Techniques sculpting brush, I believe, and then just blending that back out with my complexion brush from e.l.f. just to make sure it's not too harsh. I didn't want a very harshly defined contour. I just wanted a little one. Doing a little dance there. And now I'm taking my love, the Mad for Matte palette from e.l.f. I was so happy to be getting this in the mail, and I absolutely love it. I'm just going to be taking the second shade, the lighter shade in this palette with a blending brush from, I believe it's Rite Aid. I just got this brush. It's very affordable, and I really, really like it. It's a great option if you're looking for an affordable blending brush like me. So I'm just going to be taking that into our crease and buffing it out as a transition shade. And then I'm going to be taking the third shade in the palette and concentrating this more in the crease and on the outer V, but I'm also taking it up a little higher. And as you notice, I'm going to be taking this in a V motion on the outside of our eye because we kind of want a cat eye effect in this tutorial. We're going to be focusing all of the shadows on the very outer V and creating a lifted up effect to make our eyes look bigger. So I'm just focusing that on the outer crease and also bringing it up slightly towards the brow bone. I just keep dipping back into that product until I am content with how defined and heavy that is. So like I said, I just keep dipping back into it until I am satisfied. Next, I'm going to be taking this warmer, almost burnt red shade on the e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm going to be taking that one step lower than the last shade we had. So like I said, still concentrating it into that outer V, but not trying to take it so high up because this is a darker shade. I just want to concentrate that mostly in the crease and the outer corner of the lid. This brush is very, very great for getting that very defined crease. I really, really like it. And then I'm going to be taking my blending brush and just making sure there's no harsh lines. And I'm going to be repeating the same step on the other eye. And blend, blend, blend. Next, I'm going to be taking this purpley shade. It's the third one from the right, and doing the exact same step. Just really want to define that crease and make a lot of depth in this look. It's all about building all the colors up. You don't want to start with something too harsh because then it won't be blended out and be very seamless. So I just keep building up the intensity and building up the darkness of the colors. Just working that into the crease in the outer V, like I said again. And I'm also kind of winging this out just so that it doesn't give us that halo effect, and just blending it out again. And now back into that red shade, I'm just going to be tapping off the excess so I don't get too much and putting it at the top because I felt like that red wasn't as prominent. It's not really like red, it's kind of like a clay color. And I just really wanted to make sure that was in there again. So I'm just going back in there with that purpley shade, again, just deepening it up. I believe I also took some of the black in the palette just to deepen it up even more and create more dimension in that outer corner. And just blending it all out again. More purple, but now this time I'm just dragging that down the lower lash line, but not all the way around. I just wanted to concentrate it on the outer V again and connect it to the wing we created on the upper part of our eye. Next, I'm going to be taking the second shade on a little pencil brush and just kind of cleaning it up. I thought that it was a little too, or not defined, but big on the lower lash line, I guess, in my opinion. And then I'm going to be taking that light shade all over, not all over the lid, but mostly the inner corner to the center. I just want to blend that in and make it nice and bright on that side because it is so dark on the other side. I wanted to focus the majority of the shadows that are dark on the outer corner, so it really opens up our eyes. Now taking that middle shade and patting that on there as well, because I didn't think that the other colors stood out enough. And just blending it all in. Next, I'm going to be filling in my brows with the e.l.f. Instant, I think it's called like Instant Lift Brow Pencil. And I believe mine is a neutral brown. So I'm just going to be taking little strokes and making the shape of my brows how I would like. And I just keep going in with the spoolie as well to make sure they look natural. I don't want them to look really drawn in. In other words, I just want them to look natural, but also more defined than they are naturally. So yes, not very natural. And then when I go to the inner corner, I don't want it to be super defined. So I try and have a light hand and then spoolie it out the best I can to make sure it doesn't look too harsh, so it doesn't make us look angry or anything like that. All right, now we're going to be dipping back into the palette and taking the lightest shade and putting that underneath the brow bone just to give us a nice lift. I really, really love doing this step. I think it brings every look together, no matter if it's matte or shimmery. Usually I do shimmery shades, but because this was an all matte eye look, I didn't think that that would be appropriate. So I wanted to take a matte shade. Next, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Mineral Blush, and this blush is in the shade Sweet Retreat. That's what it was. I couldn't remember the name of it. I will also have everything that I'm using linked in the description box below. And I was just taking that on another brush from Rite Aid, and that is the blush brush. Next, I'm going to be taking the Intense Ink eyeliner from e.l.f. It's in Blackest Black, obviously, because I like my eyeliner black. And I'm going to be slowly but surely creating a nice wing for this look. I really loved how the wing brought this look together. And I really actually like this liner. It is very black and it looks super nice in my opinion. And it's really easy for me to create a wing. Next, I'm going to be curling my lashes just because I can never go a day without curling my lashes when I have makeup on. It makes such a difference in opening up your eyes, and your mascara goes on so much more beautifully. I just love it. And then the mascara I'm going to be using is from Essence, and it's their Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. I believe this is limited edition, but if you can, get your hands on it because it is so beautiful. Like it says, it really does create such long lashes that almost look fake. I love this mascara. I'm just going to be putting this as well on the lower lash line. And this mascara is probably, I think it was like $3 or $4. It's so cheap, so you definitely need to get your hands on this. Next, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Mineral Blush, which isn't really a blush, it's a highlighter, and this is in Pink Tastic. And I'm just taking the fan brush from e.l.f. and dusting that on the high points of my face, like my cheekbones. And sorry about the mirror again being in the way. I will get better at this as I go along, for sure. I just love this highlighter. I think it's gorgeous. And I'm also putting that on the center and tip of my nose. And a little on the Cupid's bow. And above the brow bone just to lift it up as well. I love this highlighter and I love highlighting my face. I think it makes such a difference in all the looks. And next I'm going to be taking an Essence, one of their new limited edition nudes, and it's in Cool Nude. I love this lipstick. It's, again, super affordable. I believe it's $2, and I love the color for fall. It's kind of like a mauvey pink rosy color, and I just think it flatters so many skin tones, and it's just a gorgeous shade. And then I'm going to be taking the Milani lip gloss, and I believe this is in One Bare Secret. I just love their lip glosses as well. Milani lip products and just their products in general I think are outstanding. I love that line. So that's it for this look, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.